pretty privilege.
Yeah.
And how people get, privilege for being the more pretty they are, the more privileges they get, the more free stuff they get, the better treatment they get. What if you are somebody who is dating one of those elite, beautiful people? What do you deal with? Because I read about some stuff that people put up with. If you're in a relationship with somebody who would be considered a 10, you know what I mean? What are you putting up with? I want to talk about this coming up next.
Traffic.
So Pretty Privilege has 3 tiers. There's entry level, 8 tier, and model status. And the final Pretty Privilege tier is model status. And that's going to be your 9s and 10s. These are going to be the people that you almost never see in real life. These are the people that you see on social media, that you see on your TV. These are models, these are celebrities, these are influencers. These people make a living off of how pretty they are. They have the halo effect times 1,000, and people want to do things for them just because of how pretty they are. They can get almost anything for free. They can get anywhere for free. They can get into the upper echelon of society just because of the way that they look.
This is true. All very, very true. But have you ever dated one of them? That's the question. And what was that like? What was that experience like? Because, people would... When they get around somebody of that level of pretty, they don't care.
Lindsay texted, I'm dating an Ohio 10 and I'm like a hard 5 and we can't go anywhere without him getting hit on.
There it is. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Man.
I don't think she's awake, but do you want me to call Lauren?
Find out what her experience is
what's
in
it
public
like?
with you.
What's it like when you go out knowing you've outkicked your coverage? I'm sure she's probably heard it all before.
Have either of you...
I think my husband is a 10. And
okay, we're all going to say that.
Let me tell you something. I don't think anybody would dare hit on him in front of me. Oh, I don't know if they do behind my back. But, yeah.
Nope. Well, before you were married, did you ever date a 10?
Before I was married to a 10, did I ever date?
Yeah.
All the guys I've dated are 10s. What are you talking about?
All right.
But I'm with Lindsay. I'm a solid 5, so I like to outkick my coverage.
You see, Lewis?
She has the same
talking about.
She has the same problem that I do.
You stand me and Lindsay next to each other, and we probably look really similar in terms of levels of...
I've met Lindsay. She's cuter than a 5.
Well,
Come on.
I'm just saying, me and Lizzie, we're humble people.
Okay,
we're not going to say
fine.
that we're
that's
10s.
Fine. All right.
We're
well,
hard 5s.
All right. Well, so I was reading about this, and people were leaving comments, and Brady said he a few years back he dated way above his pay grade, and it was intense. He said, keeping my eyes and hands off her wasn't easy, and she drew attention everywhere we went. And the insecurities did pop up when every swinging D hit on her right in front of me everywhere we went. That's got to be weird. To just, like Lindsay said, they can't go anywhere. And so what do? I guess you just put up with it? Because what are you going to do? Start a fight with every one of them every time? If it's happening everywhere you go, you're going to be getting in an awful lot of fights.
It's weird to sort of put someone's looks on a level, because like we were talking about yesterday, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. There are a lot of people that somebody might think they're the hottest person, in the world, and I'm like, I don't know. Like Brad Pitt, for instance. People loved Brad Pitt, thought he's the hottest guy. That man, I see that he is attractive, but I'm not attracted to him. I don't feel like Brad Pitt is somebody I would ever be attracted to. And I know he wouldn't be attracted to me, but you know what I'm saying? For different people, different types of looks are hot. So no matter who you're with, or if you yourself are a 10 in some circumstances, you're probably a 2 in other circumstances.
I understand why... And again, he's older now, so it might have changed a little bit. But I understood why the Brad Pitt thing was the Brad Pitt thing. If you watch stuff like Legends of the Fall and Seven and practically every movie he's in, he has a magnetism about him that you're like, okay, take the physical looks aside, the whole package, the attitude, the way all that stuff comes together. Like if there's an it factor... Yeah. I don't know at 50 whatever he still has that it factor, But 30-year-old Brad Pitt, you could totally understand.
The Riz.
Yeah, you could. I mean, it was protruding out.
When I tell you I would take Jeff Goldblum 100 times out of 100 over Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
So that's where it's become subjective because everybody's tastes are different.
Even like stoned Brad Pitt in True Romance. You know,
Yeah.
There's
Something about it.
Everything.
Now, these days...
So you guys love Brad Pitt, but I don't.
I just know, but I
just
get
gonna
it. I get it.
Despite the addiction problems and everything else, Robert Downey Jr. is the same way. There's something about the dude that just,
Chris said, I married a 10, but she is mentally crazy, so she's only hot till you get to know her. Now, Jay said when he was in his 20s... Wait, now it scrolled up on me. Jay said, when I was in my 20s, I was 340 pounds. My shoulders were wide as a bus. I looked like Donkey Kong and Shrek's love child. My kid's mom was an absolute goddess. Italian, long dark hair, blue eyes. Don't know why she wanted to be with me. I swear on everything there would be a crowd of men following her, and I would be like, what the F? Do you not even see me? And I eventually started taking it as a compliment, Rick, he said. And what else can you do?
Yeah.
You know?
You know who else has the Brad Pitt thing right now? Glenn Powell. Do you know who Glenn Powell is?
Oh, I've heard his name. Who
he's
is
the
he?
dude who played Hangman in Top Gun Maverick, and he's the one that's in the new movie with Sydney Sweeney. Mm-hmm. Like Glenn Powell has that, factor.
Right.
I'm not a fan of the pretty boy. I just am not. That doesn't appeal to me whatsoever.
Okay.
But somebody else said they feel that way about Tom Cruise. Never thought. Rachel said, I feel the same way about Tom Cruise. Like, everybody thinks he's so cute.
Okay. Everybody.
Yeah, so I guess my point is to classify someone as a 10 is weird. I guess there's some.
Well, just drop dead gorgeous.
Drop dead gorgeous is different for everybody. So I'm just saying, like, I'm with somebody I think is drop dead gorgeous, and I know you guys are too. So what's your life like when you're out in public? Is anybody hitting on your spouse while you're sitting there?
Amanda said every single friend that I had told me that my husband was not attractive. The attitude, he's tall, bald, beefy, bearded. I love it. It's not everyone's cup of tea, and that's fine, but it's my cup of tea, and it's delicious.
Yeah,
good for you, Amanda.
I 100%. I love that, and I agree with it.
Yeah, that's what my wife says. Yeah, he's like a 4, but he's mine.
Notice we did not even question that.
No, of course you wouldn't question that. Another post on the story said, the truth is women that gorgeous have their pick of the litter. Any guy they want, and that can F with a guy's head. He said, I had to end a relationship with a 10 because I could feel she was losing interest. My gut was right. She admitted that years later to another friend, but ending it with someone much more attractive than you takes longer to get past. I found myself chasing her looks with other women for the longest time. That was 2016. I've been single ever since because she ruined me. How about that? Just couldn't deal with that level of beauty and what came with it. And then you couldn't be with somebody who wasn't that beautiful. So you've stayed single ever since. That's crazy.
It's such a weird thing to be talking about beauty when the thing that really matters is who you're going to be living with for the rest of your life. And that has everything to do with character and personality and absolutely zero to do with looks.
Not true. You marry an ugly person, they'll take years off your life.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Kelly. But that doesn't change what you have to deal with if you're with somebody who on the outside is, drop dead gorgeous.
But I think I said this yesterday, though, if you would, and to go back to the stuff that Kelly just mentioned, you can be flat out awesome looking, but if you're a Richard or you have no personality or you're mean-spirited, you become way uglier than you think you are.
That's exactly right.
So it's tough to classify anybody in that category. But again, everybody's attracted to different things. I mean, Charlie probably has qualities that, you are super attracted to that someone else might not. But it doesn't matter what someone else thinks because it's all about what works for you.
Steve asked, what's it like to get hit on? Sorry, Steve.
It's tough, man. It sucks.
Yeah, ask Lewis.
Yeah, right. Hit on, not hit. Sorry.
Stephanie says, I would take Jason Momoa or Joe Manganiello over Channing Tatum any day.
There you go. Somebody said, I always thought Julia Roberts wasn't that attractive.
Wasn't that attractive?
Tracy says, the guy who played in Elvis, so hot. Susie says, look up
Austin
Josh
Butler.
Hartnett. He was my heartthrob out of high school.
Popcorn Pam mentioned Johnny Depp, and I think Johnny Depp, younger Johnny Depp, I think definitely had it. I think Johnny Depp now looks like you can tell the last few years have been hard on the guy.
Yeah. You'll remember the day you met Jack Sparrow.
Yes. And Wolfie, you're all forgetting about George Clooney. But those actors, a lot of them are characters like they play movies in their real life. George Clooney's he's got a thing.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah.
Ray says, my husband calls me a 10 and treats me like a queen. He's the most amazing man on the planet. So, yep, we should all be treated like a 10, no matter where we are on the look scale, because that's a stupid scale.
By your spouse, yes, you should.
Nick, my wife thinks Daryl Dixon is a 10. Truly subjective, person to person.
It's amazing. I mean, because my wife, Heather, doesn't get it. She's just like, because the girls just went crazy over Daryl Dixon when Walking Dead came out. And Heather's like, I don't get it. But yeah, they
I like
did.
Daryl Dixon in a way, but if you look like you're going to smell bad,
right? Yes,
I can't. There's something that doesn't allow me to think of you in any other way. But man, you're just out there living a tough life, Daryl.
See, I think Norman Reedus is cool, and I love the character of Daryl Dixon. But Daryl Dixon looks like he has not showered in months.
Well, he hasn't. He's been living in
I know.
Right.
zombie apocalypse.
Larry just sent a picture and said, my wife's a 12, and then there's me, and he took a picture. Larry, nice job, buddy. You truly did outkick your coverage on this one.
Go ahead, Kelly.
They're both gorgeous. I mean, come on, man. You guys are a good-looking couple there. Very good-looking.
I'm looking at the wrong screen. I have to look at my other computer to see the pictures. So, look at these two. Jeez.
Keith, beauty's in the eye of the beer holder. That, Keith, is true.
Beer goggles are real. Beer goggles.
When those lights come on, you hope. So there are times when you pray. Like, please, please, please.
Yeah, Heather also sees Aaron Rodgers the same way she sees Daryl Dixon. He always looks like his hair's greasy and dirty, and I don't know.
If I can smell you like through the TV, I'm like,
I got to get one of those TVs.
Erica.
It's the Morning Blitz. Coming up next.